An ode to the 1940s. In an age when the clocks ticked with care and the world bore the weight of despair, there arose a design, neither showy nor fine, but a function that dressed itself fair. With a handshake, a nod, or a glance, one upheld the old code of expanse, wherein manners were clear, not from fear but from cheer, and respect was not left up to chance. Their dresses were hemmed for the task, their dignity wore no bright mask. Though fabric ran lean, the appearance was clean. Horn spoke what one ought not to ask. A curtain might wave at the breeze, not frilled, but designed so to please. Its weave met the sun, like a prayer just begun, with a grace that asked nothing to tease. Men's suits bore the press of the day, all shoulders and purpose, no play, no peacock in thread, just a seam finely read, where the cut held the worry at bay. A camel was lipped not to boast, but to calm, half a pause, half a toast. One puffed in the rain, with a hint of old pain, as the silence drew closer than most. G.I. Jill's voice, like a breath, brushed softly against thoughts of death. Like a note in the cold, it was tender and bold, and it lingered where memory left. Capra's films taught the young and the worn that integrity need not be sworn. Even sheets drawn between held a reverent scene, where affection and boundary were born. Words danced with an old-fashioned ease. They could jab, they could tickle, they could tease. Each pun had a place in the ton of a face, and one joked with the aim to appease. The days had a rhythm unhurried, and nothing was cheapened or buried. Even silence could speak, and the humble were sleek, and the loud seemed both foolish and worried. The bluebird was more than a bird, it was hope by another word stirred. It flew through a tune, like a prayer sent too soon, and returned where the soul had been heard. Their thoughts like a poem would steep in the pauses they dared not to leap, for a symbol was slow and allowed room to grow. Some meanings they whispered must sleep. Not all was explained or defined, and the world kept its secrets entwined. With a gesture or glance, you gave silence a dance, and were grateful for what you divined. Though the war laid its hand on the heart, the people still played their small part. Through ration and ache, they gave more than they take, and made beauty from sorrow and art. The old men stood upright and still, with a handshake that tested your will. They'd speak not in haste, but with time, tone, and taste, reading character plain as a hill. And the language, it shimmered, it swayed. Through sonnet and slang it conveyed. It bent to the need, without rushing to lead, and in shifting no honesty strayed. So remember that age not as dust, but a mirror that polished its trust, where the function was true, and the form simply knew to walk quiet and do what it must.